Hi there. In this short video, we're going to talk about mean deviation. Now, mean deviation is a common question, again, on the short answer or the multiple choice of the exam. Lately, it's been a multiple choice question, but we'll solve here as though it's a short answer question rather than choose from a list of multiple choice options. It's quite a simple procedure. One of the main questions my students have is, what is mean deviation? And what it is the distance from the mean of any given data set. So for example, if I have a class of students and the class average is 62, if everybody got 62 on the test in the whole class, the class average would be 62. But there'd be zero mean deviation because there'd be no distance from that mean. However, more likely is that you have a class where some students got 40 and some students got 90, and that the class average might be 62. And so it's a question of saying, well, if the mean is sort of the central value, how far is everyone's mark? Let's say the class average was 62. How far is everyone's mark from that mean, whether it's, above that mark or whether it's below that mark? And so what we do is we look at a whole bunch of different distances. You could say, well, some people got higher values, and some people got lower values. And so the question would be what's the average distance of people's marks in relation to that actual mean? And so if we look at it that way and we say, well, to get a class average, you can have a number of different distributions of classes to get the same class average. And so we're interested in the average distance from the mean. So I'm wondering, in this particular question, it says at football tryouts, each new player's height is measured in centimeters so that correctly fitting uniforms can be issued. The following lists are the height of the new football players. So these men and women who are trying out for the football team all have different heights. And so we're interested in the mean deviation of those heights. Now, the first thing we need, though, is to find the mean itself. Now, the symbol for the mean is x bar. And just like a class average, we're going to add up all the values and divide by the total number of them. And I'm going to just divide, oops, I'm not sure where that extra line came from. There we go. Divide by 5. So I notice here that I get, if I add them all up, I get 730 on the top. And if I divide that by 5, I find out that my mean for this data set is a height of 146 centimeters. So that's great. Now, I'm interested in the distances from the mean. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract and say, well, how far away is each number from that mean? So I'm going to go 120 minus 146. I'm just going to line all of these up. Now, I'm going to put some funny little brackets here, and the funny little brackets are called absolute value. And they don't do anything, so don't worry. But what in terms of changing the actual number of the answer, what they do change is the sign, and what it means that all your answers have to be positive. So if I say, what's 120 minus 146, my answer is actually a negative value, right? 120 minus 146 is going to give me an answer of negative 26, but we don't want negative numbers here. We're just looking at distances away. So I'm just going to put 26, and that's because I put those straight brackets there. 173 minus 146 is 27. 160 minus 146 is 14. 142 minus 146, again, it would be negative, but we're going to just take the positive value. And 135 minus 146, it'd be the same situation. It would be a negative 11, but we'll take positive 11. So now we're going to take the mean of those values. Let's take the mean of our deviations. So we can add up all those numbers. And divide by 5. And our answer is going to be, so I'm going to do it here, 26 plus 27 plus 14 plus 4 plus 11 divided by 5. My mean deviation is exactly 16.4. So that means, and that's my final answer, what that means is from 146, which is the mean height or the average height of the players, the mean distance or the average distance from that number, from 146, is 16.4 centimeters. So some people are much farther away. People who are at 26 or 27 is quite far away. And some people are much closer, someone who's at 142. But it's about how they're gathered around the mean. So that's how you do mean deviation. It's a very simple procedure. It's a little bit of a difficult concept for people to understand, but it's about, how far each person is away from an average in a group, or how far each data point is away from an average in a group. All right, have a great day, folks.